being hungry and stuff, you want to be invisible because you don't want people to know how bad off you are. You don't want to admit, that you're that low, you're that far down and you can't do things for yourself. But when you've been sick for a long time, it is hard. It is really hard because you just don't want to admit that you can't do things for yourself. And when I was going through my chemo and my radiation, I couldn't do things for myself. And I did feel all alone because, who can you ask for help,
We don't want to be in this situation, but there's times that we have no choice. Oh yes. Oh yeah, we struggled when my son got sick and I had to stop working, which was 3-4 years ago. I had to stop working. I took care of my son, and there was just nowhere to turn. I mean, my family had their own lives. I couldn't be asking them.
Because I don't work, and so, I feel like I feel like there's people who would look at me and say, well, why don't you just get a job? And if people really understood what it feels like to do things like this, they wouldn't say that.
I don't know. In the near past, there's been situations where we've gone without. We've gone seriously without. You know what I mean? And if you find yourself in a situation where you don't know where to turn to, how do I fix this? How do I go about it? Right? Especially when you have a whole home to take care of. What's your resources? How can I go about it? And it's not widely known that there's situations or programs out here. That you don't know about it. So yeah, there's definitely there's more of a sense of fear that comes along with the feeling of being alone.
It's hard asking people for help because partly you never know what their reaction is going to be, if they're going to want to help. And so many people are in the same situation now too that it's just everything about being homeless is hard. I mean, I just remember waking up at night being hungry and not having anything to eat.
I feel grateful that this exists for my family. I know at this point I know I'm doing, I know I'm doing what's best for my kids by staying home and not working and needing help. But it's really difficult. I feel a lot of shame for that. I feel like I'm supposed to go work and put them in daycare, and I don't want to. I think it's better for them to have me at home with them, and we make sacrifices. And sometimes sacrifices don't always feel good, and they don't appear worthy to other people. So sometimes I feel looked down on for coming to the food distribution, but it is what it is.
God bless you. Love you. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here.
I would say to people that don't realize to open up their eyes, because it's evident everywhere you go. If you just take yourself out of the self and view the world through the eyes of someone else, because it's evident. You see it out on the streets. It's evident. Kids are going hungry every day.
I never had to ask people for clothes. If you don't have clothes, can you pass it down, stuff like that. I never did. I never had to do that, but now with these people helping me, I feel that I can breathe, that I am somebody, and they make me feel like I am somebody, and I'm trying, because I think a lot of people look at me and say, she's just staying home to stay home. She doesn't want to work. No, that's not the case. I worked all my life, but you run into bad luck sometimes.
One of the hardbacks that I'm seeing a lot of times with the people is that they're embarrassed that they're in the position they're in, but there's no reason to be embarrassed because everybody has a time in life that they're in need, you know. I myself used to get food boxes at one time. I used to get in line, so I know about the food box situation.
Well, there's, of course, the physical nourishment, right? But more importantly, there's a lesson to be learned here that teaches them that there's outside people that do love, that do care, that are willing to help. And again, I gotta remember that God is all. So with His help, I find that there's people like you.
You know, I come here and I do find a sense of community, and you know, especially at this school, it is very community centered, and I feel like I can come here and just be a part of something.
Thank God and bless everybody for having these people here to help us. Without them, we wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to survive. I don't know where we'd be, me and my son, I don't know. And I want to thank you all for being kind to us and for making us feel like we belong somewhere.
Have a good day. And I'm going to you're welcome. Please do. And you already got my recipe, right?
Yes, I got your recipe.
Yeah.
I'll let you know how mine turns out.
Good. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. God bless. Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you, Linda.
In here. Thank you.
Thank you to Roadrunner Food Bank for doing this. Thank you to all the people who volunteer there, to all the people who donate, to all the people who volunteer. Thank you.